Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to our webcast this evening. My name's Brian Murray, the Director of Travel here at AAA. And at least in the Western New York area, it's a beautiful evening out. So I really appreciate you taking a little time to spend with us to hear about Insight Vacations. You know, I'm getting pretty optimistic of the world opening and so many different destinations becoming available after this long pause for well over a year. So we got a lot of great information, pertinent information to share with you this evening. I do want to let you all know you're in listen only mode. If you have any questions, please type them in the question panel and we'll entertain the questions at the end of the program. Additionally, we're offering $100 savings from AAA for booking on any new 2021 or 2022 Insight Vacations or Luxury Gold Escorted Journey booking between now and the 9th of June. That is in fact combinable with member benefits and any other offers that are available at the time of booking. So I'm excited about the program. We have tonight with us Adam Consovoy, who is the Strategic Account Manager with Insight Vacations and Luxury Gold. Adam, thank you so much for being with us, and I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Brian. Brian, you can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Like I said, thank you for that great introduction. My name is Adam Consovoy. I've been working with Insight Vacations and Luxury Gold since 2019. And I'm thrilled to actually be able to present this program today because we got some really positive news that Brian had hinted out about, you know, the world opening back up and how Insight Vacations and Luxury Gold is really leading the way and enabling all of our guests to experience everything that we offer in both style and luxury. So those of you not familiar, Insight Vacation Luxury Gold is part of the Travel Corporation, and in 2020. Very honestly, it was our 100th anniversary. So we're gonna do a redo. Our 100th anniversary is this year now. But as a family of brands, Insight Vacation also works in conjunction with a lot of our sister brands, such as Red Carnation Hotel. And you may have heard of some of our other brands, such as Trafalgar. And I have the unique distinction of representing Red Carnation Hotels in Uniworld as well. One thing I always like to lead off my presentation is our commitment to giving back and making sure that we leave this world a better place than we found it through our charitable organization, the Tread Right Foundation. We're celebrating 12 years. And our hashtag Make Travel Matter. So what we do is in every destination, in every country that we have, that we visit, we highlight Make Travel Matter, where we take our guests into culturally significant areas and showcase some of the things that we have done to, you know, through our environmental cleanups, through protection of wildlife, through preserving the local culture. And it's a really important foundation of everything, and not just with Insight Vacation and Luxury Gold, but with all of the Travel Corporation's brands. And the big thing that we want to let our guests know, you can travel with confidence and have peace of mind that the health and your hygiene and well-being is perfectly taken care of. We have our new dedicated caring team. We've making sure that physical distancing and local health and safety protocols are taken care of. We only use our most trusted partners. Insight Vacation as a brand, you know, especially with our domestic journeys, we've been in a lot of these places for over 40 years now. And with those relationships we built up, we know that the hotels we use, our local guides that we bring about, are held to a higher standard than even the local jurisdictions. But the biggest thing that we've added for 2021 and moving forward is our new well-being director. We always had our travel directors on every single one of our coaches, and with Luxury Gold, our travel concierge, our fantastic drivers. But we've added an additional person who is purely there to maintain the health and safety protocols of through handing out PPE, making sure that everything is clean and sanitized on the coach when everyone gets on and off. And this is new for 2021. This will be on all of our standard departures, so all of our classic group sizes, as well as all of our domestic and European itineraries. So we have our three things that we like to highlight. We always have an on-support team no matter where you're traveling. So be it domestic, be it in Europe, we have offices all over the globe. So we want people to know that no matter what, 24/7, 365, we're there to assist you beyond that. The travel director and the new well-being director. We have our local people. Hygiene protocols and distancing. We were fortunate enough that, and I'll highlight it in a little bit with our coaches, that we always had a little bit extra. We have extended leg room, less people on our groups compared to most other guided vacations. Our average group sizes were already lower, but we've also now added small group departures, but still using the same size luxury coach, so that you have even enhanced distancing, and our 24/7 incident response team always at the beck and call. So what we've added to our most popular itineraries, and every single itinerary that I'm going to highlight today has small group offerings with 24 maximum. And what I like to focus in on this is also that it's with the small groups, we're still using, you'll still have the well-being director, you'll still have the travel director, the driver, and the larger coach. All we've done is eliminate the amount of people that we're taking on them. So we know that moving forward, some people would prefer this, and with all of our most popular departures, small groups are an option. Now with Insight Vacation in particular, we like to highlight what we believe makes us a little bit different. All the sights and insights, getting up close and personal, and most importantly, traveling in comfort and style, no matter where we're going. So I'm going to highlight a few of these really quick and what that means. All the sights and insights is not just quick little tours of the areas where you're bussed around in a whirlwind, but really getting up close and personal with the local experts. For example, in this particular highlight here, when we visit the Grand Canyon, which we do with a great many departures in our national parks and out west, you'll actually be shown around by a geologist who gives you insights into the 5 million year old canyon, the rock formations, and point out all the intricacies of the canyon itself. And you can even see some of these highlights. If you want to go on YouTube and you go #Insight Moments, you can actually see a quick little snippet of our local experts. And all of the photos, I just want to highlight, all the photos I'm showing you are actually people on our individual tours. These aren't stock photos. These aren't hired actors or actresses. These are actually people on the tours to give you a feel of what you'll actually experience. And another thing too is hearing it directly from the source. One thing I really love about our program, especially out west, is meeting with members of the Navajo tribe, where a guide walks you through their stunning heritage and get up close and personal with life on their beautiful land. This is our local expert. His name is Larry Holiday, and if you ever read reviews of any of our tours that visit Monument Valley, his name comes up again and again and again. Just someone who's so passionate about his people's history and heritage and culture, and it comes across in every single one of the tours. And getting up close and personal. One of the things a question that I get quite often is, with a lot of the dining options. And what I like about Insight, and I'm very passionate about the brand, is making sure that when we have included dining, that it's authentic and it's true to the destination. Yes, the hotel restaurants can be fantastic, but the best dining options are always when you get into the city, you experience what is true and authentic. And one of the other things that we offer, and with a lot of our itineraries, you'll notice dine around evenings. And what that is the ability to have an included meal in, usually a dinner, but the travel director will make a reservation and you can pick from a variety of different restaurants. So you can go in a smaller group, a little bit more personalization. And with the dine around evenings, we'll give you a variety of different cuisines in those cities, even if it's in a very particular destination, to give you a little bit more freedom to try and taste and sample. But with Insight Vacations, I always like to highlight the coaches. I myself am a larger man. I'm 6'1", and when I've traveled with Insight, legroom has never been an issue. The size of the coach is pretty standard on how large they can be given the limitations in certain cities. But what you'll notice in our coaches is that we take a standard 53-seater coach, remove the seats down to 40, and always have an included bathroom on those coaches. Although we rarely will go more than 2.5 to 3 hours in between stops, even on our most longest and spread out itineraries. It's something that we let people know that we always have. But you'll see an actual photo of the luxury coach that we do. So traveling in style, beautiful panoramic window, especially if you're doing a national parks or any of the scenic drives, such as Switzerland and Italy. And I can tell you what I've done with a lot of the pictures that I've taken. I literally can just put my phone or my camera right up against the window and I can take these beautiful panoramic shots, because what we've modeled our coaches after, if anyone has ever done a scenic train, it's almost like the domed roof. So you have these beautiful unobstructed views. And also in every single coach, we have in-seat USB power to keep your device charged up and Wi-Fi enabled on all the coaches. Now, our travel directors is really what enable us to do what we do. So we always like to highlight the amazing job that they do, because when we notice that when we send out our reviews, we use an independent reviewing source so people can, it's an unsolicited review. They always tell us time and time again, it's the travel directors that make the tours. They're the ones who, really give you the little insights into all the destinations you're going. They're the masters of logistics, making sure that everyone is having a great time. And our smaller groups. So even though we have our standard group size, they'll average 32 to 33, which is still considerably smaller than many guided vacations. It enables you more time to explore. That's less time on and off the coach, less time checking into the individual hotels that you're visiting. All of this goes to enhance your journey. And the variety of transportation that we use, it's not just all motor coaches. We do scenic trains, such as our itineraries in South America will include the train ride through the Sacred Valley. And staying in a variety of hotels. The one thing you'll notice with Insight Vacations, if you look on our digital brochure, we're very transparent in the hotels that we stay in, because we try and give you the most authentic experience. There's nothing wrong with the chain hotels, but we like to use singular hotels in the destination. And with our smaller groups, it allows us to stay in more boutique settings, such as the Cumbres de San Pedro and Atacama Hotel in Chile. It's a very small, much more boutique style hotel, and a larger group just could not possibly fit in them. Very minimalist. You feel like you're in the oasis, very restful in the beautiful Atacama Desert. And another hotel, for example, the Harbor View Hotel. This is in Martha's Vineyard, right on the water. Again, boutique, absolutely fantastic, phenomenal service, phenomenal food options all around. Now what I'm going to want to do is just highlight some of the itineraries that we actually have currently departing right now, as the world is beginning to open up and people are feeling more comfortable traveling. Insight Vacations really is leading the way in guided vacations. And Wonders of the American West was actually our first departure earlier this month. May 1st, we had our first small group departure of 24 people. There was about 22 on the 24 max, it was 22 on the tour. And this is one of our most popular itineraries in our entire portfolio. Now, with Wonders of the American West, it's a round trip out of Las Vegas. We have 2 beautiful, unique Insight experiences, 9 top-rated highlights, 5 authentic dining experiences, and 7 hand-picked hotels. What you'll notice with any of our departures, if you look at there's different colors and different coordinates, but the easiest way to look at it is anytime you look at a departure, you'll see either red or white for the overnight stays. And what the white means are going to be scenic hotels. And you'll notice on this particular departure, it's almost all scenic hotels. So on this one, Wonders of the American West, I think we're on our 4th departure already. Some of the local unique Insight experiences, which I highlighted, you saw in some of the other slides previously. Local expert in the Grand Canyon, extremely in-depth and informative talk, but Monument Valley with a Navajo guide. It's a private tour. It's really, something that's very difficult to set up yourself. This is where guided vacations really can set the bar on doing things unique and true to the destination. But we have one of the most amazing things about our program, especially with our national parks, is wherever applicable, we're always staying in a lodge hotel. So when you get downtime, when you have free time to yourself, you're able to explore a lot of the parks after hours. Because what you'll notice, especially with a lot of the parks, if you stay outside of the entrance, the actual gates themselves, At dusk, you'll have to leave the park. You're not allowed to stay overnight without a permit or being a registered guest of one of the hotels. So this is when you really get to experience all the wonders and beauty of our national park system up close and personal. Now, something I also want to point out, this great tour is called the Great Western American Adventure. And what it is actually a combination of our Canyonlands tour and our Best of California. And one reason I want to highlight this really quickly is that it actually departs year round. So if you're looking to go when there's less crowds, something in the winter time, this is a fantastic option. Start in San Francisco, finishing in Las Vegas. I know all of us have a lot of built up vacation time. We've had to unfortunately suspend some of our travel plans. And to really get to see the best of the Southwest, you can do it in one itinerary. And one thing I'd like to point out too with this particular itinerary is we do multiple overnights. Even though it seems like it's covering a lot of distance, we do break it up quite nicely with several cities with 2-night stays. Such as starting off in San Francisco, beautiful Monterey, one of my favorite cities in the entire country, and then also 2 nights in Lake Powell. Now, Jewels of Alaska, even though we did get good news and it looks like Alaska cruising will start back up, one thing I say that is lacking with Alaskan cruising is really getting to spend a lot of time within the state itself. There are, I know, cruise tour options, but something I think with Insight that we have is these are going to be smaller groups. You're traveling with less people. The one thing I always love about our tours is you don't have to, hold up a giant umbrella to corral all the people. If you've done any sightseeing with larger tours, you'll notice when you have 50, 60 people, everyone has to have the ear devices in, or there's no chance you're going to hear the local guides. That simply is not the case. So with our Jewels of Alaska, it's a perfect program. In and out of Alaska, there's much more flight options now for the summer months that can get you directly into Anchorage. But again, private receptions, you meet local people, small groups, and really, really, really fantastic overnight options. We include the Alaska Railroad, 2 nights in a scenic hotel in Denali National Park. And again, one of our top tours in all of the United States. I believe in 2019, this was our number 4 tour for passengers, and quite amazing considering it's a much smaller season. But the Jewels of Alaska will start up in July and August. We have some fantastic options. And one thing I want to highlight now with going international, these are destinations that are not only open for travel, but Insight Vacations physically right now has people on those tours. So we're in these destinations. Rest assured that you're in great hands with us. And the first one I want to highlight is Wonders of Egypt. And the reason I want to highlight it because this was actually the last tour that I did prior to the shutdown. So in December of 2019, I did this fantastic, unbelievable, once in a lifetime, and one of my bucket list itineraries, Wonders of Egypt for 9 days, with a start and end in Cairo. 5 unique Insight experiences, 10 unbelievable highlights. It felt like there was even more. The authentic dining experiences I'll get into because one really does stand out, and it's one of my favorite things that we offer across our entire brand. And only 2 hotels because what you'll notice is a 4-night cruise on the Nile, something that's really a penultimate experience where we fly, and all internal flights are included, flying with Egypt Air, the legacy carrier. So we start in Luxor and end in Aswan and fly back and do some additional touring in Giza. And my favorite thing we did here was definitely in Luxor, visiting with a family for a taste of Egyptian sunbread. We actually take our groups, and in Egypt and in all of our destinations in this area of the world, it's automatically smaller groups. Max group size is 22. We average about 17, 18 on these departures. So the groups are very, very manageable. And we actually go into the home of the family. They explain how they make sunbread, but more so than that, we allow our guests to just have open and wonderful conversations about what their daily lives are like. We learned that their son was actually went to college at Cambridge, decided to come home because his true passion is sharing his culture and his country with everyone, with all of our wonderful guests. Really, really fantastic. And with the dining, the food is absolutely fantastic in Egypt. It's the Nile was a cradle of civilization. They produce some amazing fruits and vegetables, and one of the best places for grain. But you get to really experience all this, and especially when we get to Aswan, we do one of the most amazing experiences at the Old Cataract Hotel. So this is a picture on our on this particular tour where we take high tea at sundown overlooking the Nile, and in the background you can see the felucca sailboats. You can actually smell the spices and perfumes in the air, because that area is very well known for its perfumeries. Over 90% of the world's rose oil and essential oils comes from this region. So you really get to see and be fully immersed within the culture. It was just something I said I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was such a fantastic experience. And the other thing too is, the ability to get up close and personal with the wonder of the world, where you can experience the Great Pyramids of Giza. And the pictures don't do it justice. It's just absolutely awe-inspiring. And another one of our fantastic itineraries, the Natural Wonders of Iceland, just had its first departure for the season. The season starts usually at the end of May to begin with. Actually departed this weekend. It's a 9-day all across the country. The one thing I love about this is, a lot of people may have visited Iceland and they'll do just the southern tip and hang around the capital of Reykjavik. But we really want to see this amazing topography all around the country. So we go from really literally do the ring road all the way around. It's 9 days in and out of Reykjavik. But one thing that we do here is a really extensive Make Travel Matter experience, which I highlighted with our Tread Drive Foundation. And you learn about the geothermal heat and electric power stations and why it's so important, because it really does fall in line with our sustainability efforts in many of the places we visit. For example, especially in this destination, on many of our motor coaches, and we've done away with single-use plastics. And it's not just on our coach and as a company, but in our supply chain. So we have UV and charcoal filtration water systems on the coaches if you need to fill up water bottles and things like that. So all of this really does fall in line with the beliefs and the tenements of what we do with Insight Vacation and Luxury Gold. And a fantastic thing, we're so happy to see Greece come back and really lead the way with European Traveler. And one of the itineraries I want to highlight is a Greek island hopper. A lot of people may have experienced Greece on a Mediterranean cruise, but one of the downsides of that is you really don't get to see as much of the islands, get to spend overnights, when the day trippers are gone. So this is a Greek island hopper, which can be combined with a few of our other itineraries if you want to see more of the interior of Greece. But the Greek island hopper is a top seller where you get to spend 3 nights in Mykonos and Santorini. This is more of an itinerary if people are looking for more relaxed starts. So we have various types of touring. As the Iceland one I showed you is a little bit more on the go because we're trying to visit the entire country in a more condensed time. But with the Greek island hopper, you really get to relax. So you'll see in a day-to-day of this several relaxed starts. And what that means is nothing before 9 a.m., a lot of free time, a lot of downtime. Now you have the option to do some things, and you can add on to your trip with Insight Vacations. But we'll still always include what I call the greatest hits. So we'll cruise around the Caldera and Santorini and things like that. But with the authentic dining is really where I think Greece stands out. What's included when we visit Santorini is an evening cocktail reception overlooking the bay at sunset. Can't do anything more authentic than that. And before we end our itinerary in Greece, an amazing celebration dinner. And a lot of times with many guided vacations, your celebration dinners will be in hotels. Now, not to say that we don't have a few dinners in hotels here and there, but if we're going to do a true celebration dinner, we're taking our guests into a authentic local restaurant. There'll be singing, there'll be dancing, there'll be more than a few glasses of wine. But what better way to send off our guests than the true authentic experience. Now, also what I want to mention, Brian did mention that there'll be an additional $100 off Insight Vacations booked up until June 9th. But as always, as our true valued partner AAA, we extend additional member benefits across all of our brands. So just to highlight, within Insight Vacation, you'll get a $40 per person optional experience voucher that's applicable on all the journeys. Although we include a great amount of dining, ton of sightseeing and unique, authentic experiences, we also give you downtime to do what you'd like. But with that, we'll give you that additional 40, and that is combinable with any other offer. We have some air offers going on right now with some of our airline partners, but this is in addition to that. And I really want to thank everyone for their time. It's been an honor to present to you today about all the fantastic things that are happening with our company and how we're opening up to the world. So with that, I hand it over back to Brian. Thank you.
Well, Adam, what a great program, and I tell you, it's really exciting with those destinations that you're actually there now. The world is opening, so a lot of opportunity. A couple questions came in. One is on the with the guided vacations, can one do a pre or post stay independently as part of that trip?
Absolutely. We offer pre and post with every single one of our itineraries. And the benefit of booking it through us is that you'll be in the same hotel. You won't have to check in, check out, and that's always offered. The other thing I forgot to mention, and what is also helpful, if people are interested in doing a pre and a post, the one thing that we do is once we gather all your information, do your trip registration, you'll get an email about a week prior from your travel director. So if you're doing a pre and post, you have a quick question, they're more than happy to recommend a restaurant that evening and help you out in that respect. So it's offered in any of our programs.
Great, thank you. And I did want to mention, I have to concur with you on your comment on Alaska. In a land, I've done cruise tours before. While the cruise is great, being inland in the heart of Alaska, there's nothing like it, and you really see everything there is to see and all the details. So I agree with you on that for sure. Really, if it can be answered briefly, a question came in on kind of what the difference is with Insight Vacations and what luxury gold is. And I know there's some major differences with the two products. If you could just elaborate a little bit, Adam, that would be great.
Absolutely. So with Luxury Gold, it is a truly exclusive experience. Luxury Gold in 2022 is moving to all small group itinerary departures, and in many of the more exotic places that we visit, I mentioned Japan, the average group size is 16, very bespoke. So Luxury Gold partners with our sister company, Red Carnation Hotels. So for example, in London, you're staying at Rubens in the Palace overlooking Buckingham Palace. It takes all the best aspects of Insight Vacation and just elevates them to true luxury status. And what you can see in the background, if you can see my camera, you get to meet with culturally significant people. Our Chairman's Collection, I think, really sums it up. If I can give a quick overview of that, it's that we take truly unique experiences, meeting with a member of a royal family. For example, my parents are super excited in September. They're traveling on our Harmonies of Central Europe. And on that particular departure, they get to meet with Anita van Hohenberg, who is a direct living descendant of the Habsburg Royal Empire, and they'll take tea in her private residence. So what Luxury Gold does is just really focusing in on truly amazing experiences, things that are justifying to that level of service. For example, if you book Luxury Gold, whether the airfare is booked through us or not, black sedan service is included. So it's private transfers to and from the airport from your private residence, as well as once you land in destination. There are no optional inclusions, everything's included. And for example, in Luxury Gold, we elevate the dining. Yes, we're gonna have truly authentic dining experiences. For example, Luxury Gold goes to Egypt and they'll still have that experiences of dining in that family's home. That's included in both Insight Vacations Luxury Gold, but where we'll elevate it in Luxury Gold, we'll do an overnight at the Old Cataract Hotel, which is the 5-star hotel where Agatha Christie actually physically wrote Death on the Nile as a preserved suite there. So it's all the little things that we do and just elevate it and make it even that much more amazing. So you'll see the best hotels in Europe will include Michelin rated dining with no restrictions. So for example, in our Ultimate Italy package, we eat in the island of Capri at Restaurant Mama. It's arguably the best restaurant in the entire area. That will be included. So you have these enhancements, these flourishes that really go above and beyond, and that's where Luxury Gold comes into play.
Great, thank you, Adam. Question, and I was going to answer this, but I'm going to let you, because I know that there were some changes during COVID, and I'm not sure if what the latest is, but deposit and balance due. How much of a deposit and balance due is, when is that prior to departure? And second part of that, do you offer a returning guest discount?
Yes, we do. So it's the policies on returning guest discounts kept in play from what we had previous to COVID. The deposits really haven't changed as far as what's required. Occasionally throughout the year, we've done reduced deposits like $99 per person, but for the most part, it's $200 per person. Though there are some exceptions to that in more exotic locations that will include, interflights and things like that. But as a broad statement, the deposit really hasn't changed, and final balance really hasn't changed. It's the same policy. It really has always been. The one thing is we're really strong. The only change I'd say is we're very, very strongly pushing for everyone to have medical insurance. Now, it doesn't have to be through us. It's whatever your preference is. And but if we're making people sign waivers if they choose to travel without coverage. But I think now in this new post-COVID world, I think it goes without saying how important that can be.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So when the final payments are due really also depend on the type of trip. If there's flight components, they're due a little bit earlier, but for the most part, if it's just a land only components, about 60 days prior.
Perfect, thank you. And of course, the AAA Travel Advisor can, share all the details on that with the particular booking destination and itinerary. Another question, and I should know the answer to this, and I apologize, I don't. Are there any tours dedicated for solo guests? I know that you certainly allow solos and have arrangements for solos, but are there solo dedicated tours?
No, and the reason why we didn't do that is we get such a big mix of different travelers. But if I can give you some numbers, that gives you an idea of what we're dealing with. Now, on select departures, we've even waived solo supplements, heavily reduced them. On some of the itineraries, solo supplements were as little as $200 a person more. But on any given trip, we average about 30 to 40% of our guests are solo travelers. So we didn't really feel the need to have just particular itineraries that were purely solo travelers. But I would say, especially on the longer the itinerary, the higher the percentage of solo travelers actually are.
Great, wonderful. So, well, that appears to be it for the questions. If anyone does think of anything, please reach out to any of our travel advisors. Many of them have experienced Insight and Luxury Gold. They know the destinations and really want to help all of us travel sooner than later. So thank you all for participating tonight. And Adam, thank you for a great presentation. Learned a lot, and you have a lot of opportunity for traveling now, whether it's in the U.S. or in Europe. So thank you for sharing, and I wish everyone a great evening.
Yeah, and the other thing I just wanted to throw in there also, please reach out to your travel advisors. We do actually have some availability for July and August with guaranteed departures. So they're definitely going off. They have some space available. In the past, people have asked me, when do I need to, book a guided vacation? But that playbook has been thrown out the window, of course. So we do have a lot of people are looking for some last minute travel, and we're more than happy to accommodate that.
That's terrific. And while you were mentioning that, a last minute question came in, and I think it's rather pertinent, and I can't remember if you did touch on it or not. Are masks required on the motor coaches?
Yes, they are, because it's a lot of it has to do with the local requirements for travel and transportation, particularly in Europe. So for the time being, yes, masks are required, but that is a very fluid situation. The one thing we say is, we're proactive rather than reactive, and if something changes, we're not, we'll change with it. So as it is, I can only tell you what it is right now. That can change tomorrow. But yes, we are requiring masks on the motor coaches. But the one thing is, we'll always have plenty of extra PPE, hand sanitizer, mask, gloves, that the well-being director, and that's their primary responsibility, is to make sure that's all available.
That's terrific, and nothing, no truer statement than rules, regs, protocols are in place now that can change tomorrow and beyond, but we all have to go with it for what it is. But we'll all get there, and you all are taking great strides to get us there. So again, thank you, Adam. Thank you, everybody, and have a great evening.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.